So there are instructions on the front of the bucket when you do buy it. This is something we kind of put together just for our climate, just to try to basically help and keep the tub from freezing. So it's kind of comprised of a couple different, items. You have a bucket heater, which is going to heat the water of the tub, a couple extension cords, and then a ceramic heater. So in this case, we're going to take the bucket heater itself, and this is what's going to go into the body of water. You don't want to use the tub when this is in there, because they're made to heat up a bucket of water, not necessarily a hot tub, but they do the trick. So we're just going to put it, kind of right down in the water, and then we're going to plug this in. Now, we have to keep an eye on this because a bucket heater doesn't quit heating. It keeps heating and heating and heating. So if you were to leave this in here, you'll get the tub to 140, 150 degrees where it will literally melt the shell of the tub. So it's something we have to keep an eye on, and the customer is responsible to kind of do their due diligence and keep an eye on this when it's in. We want to get it, up to that 100 degrees, and then, maybe unplug it for a day, unplug it back in, or unplug it in the morning, plug it back in at night once we are up to temperature. So it's something you're gonna have to monitor. The North Dakota winters we have, it's 30 below zero. Something happened to the tub, it's in protection mode, we have a sensor, something failed. Basically that your tub is now cooling down, and for whatever reason we can't get a technician out there. Maybe it's a Saturday, and you found this, and we're not open until Monday. Or like I said, when it does get cold, quite a bit of other service issues happen, so maybe it's going to be something we can't get out for a couple days. So this will kind of get you, through until we can get out there. So we'll put that one in, we'll plug this into the wall, and that will keep, everything from freezing. If your tub is already cold, let's say, the water in the tub is 50 degrees, at that point, a lot of your plumbing and everything is probably already starting to freeze. So that's where then we'll add in the ceramic heater too. And that does come with the kit. So for that, it'll take a little bit more. We'll have to take the front panel off the tub. So we'll take the front panel off so we can get into the compartment. And then we're gonna wanna find kind of a flat and level spot. Whether, we take a little chunk of wood or something and maybe set it across here. Sometimes the heaters can kind of sit. We just want it so it's not directly blowing, hot air on any component. It's just going to heat the compartment area itself. We'll go ahead and plug that in, get that turned on and set, and then we want to put the front door back on. And then let both of them kind of do their thing. This will slowly start thawing any of the pumps and the heaters and everything that may have already been frozen. And then the bucket heater will warm up the body of water itself. You're going to want to do this as soon as you find it. If you found that, like I said, the water in the tub is 50 degrees right now and it's 30 below zero, I'll almost guarantee everything up here is already frozen. So that's when we're going to want to get this heater in there. And we're going to want to do it before the technician comes, because if the technician shows up and all of this is still frozen, there's really nothing he's going to be able to do other than put the heater in for you and come back in a couple days once everything thaws. If the water is cold or there's ice starting to form, it might take 2, 3, 4 days to warm the body of water back up. But once it does that, it doesn't quit heating. It's just going to keep going. So now, even though we're back at 100 degrees, the next day we might be 110, 120. It's just going to keep going, and that's what we, don't want to happen. We want to keep it right around that 100 and 100, 104 degrees. We don't want it to go much more than that. So we don't want to get anywhere near that. We really don't want to get over 110. So you'll if you put your hand in there and it's hot to the touch, unplug that for quite a few hours. They are insulated very well, so they will hold the heat. Go ahead and unplug that, but that's basically the one thing you have to monitor. For the most part, the heater in the cabinet, you can let that run. That's really not going to do anything even when the tub's up to temperature. That'll be fine. There's still, there's a vent along the front and the vents on the side, so there's still cool air coming in there. But the bucket heater that is in the tub is what you have to keep an eye on, and you have to make sure that we're keeping an eye on the temperature, and we're unplugging that when we need to and plugging it back in. Just because it hits temperature, you don't unplug it and then walk away from it. It will, once it cools back down, then we do have to plug it back in, let it heat up again. So it's something daily you're going to be monitoring until you know, you can fix it, we get it thawed, or we get a technician out. You can pick up some of this stuff at, you know, a hardware store, Fleet Farm, Tractor Supply, but it has to be a bucket heater. It cannot be a cattle tank heater. Most people, they look kind of the same, and a lot of people say, well, I have a cattle tank. Well, a cattle tank heater keeps it from freezing the water, so it'll keep it around that, say, 36, 37 degrees. It doesn't really go any higher than that. It just keeps it from freezing, where we want this thing back up to 100 degrees. So a bucket heater is what you need to get. You have to make sure that's what it is. If you go and buy, like I said, a cattle tank heater or a trough heater, you know, that's gonna keep it from freezing, but all your plumbing and everything is gonna freeze. And that's a misconception we see a lot throughout the winter is, here's your options. You can buy it from us, and then it's always, well, you know, I have one. Well, it has to be a bucket heater. Well, if we go out and it is frozen, I think the technicians do have some with them that they can put in, you know, if we're kind of taking care of it. But this is more so if, like I said, we can't get a technician out there. I mean, it is, you know, the customer's responsibility to keep it from freezing. Whether it's under warranty, whether it's not, you know, we'll do our best to get out there in a timely manner, but until we can get out there, this is kind of the option you have.